Hello folks, how you doing? It's Des Cattys. This is my final video now for the bits on carving, if you like. Please understand that I'm no expert, okay? All it is for me is just a little bit of fractured experience, okay? If you want to get some real expert knowledge, then, you know, either pick yourself up a few books, which I will go on to, which I'll segue into books straight away. A couple of good books to get are the Swedish Carving Techniques. That's a good book if you can get hold of it. And I've also actually got two copies almost of the same book. This is the Little Book of Whittling by Chris Bookman, and there's some great little projects in there for you know, for doing carving and stuff like that. Barney, bless him, for my 50th, he sent me, as I say, he sent me a lovely package over, and one of the packages that were in there was this book, and it's the Swiss Army Whittling book, 43 Easy Projects, and it's pretty much the same as that one by the same author. But no worries. I mean, there's loads and loads of different books out there, and of course YouTube is saturated with as many, you know, wood carving experts as there is. I'm kind of just a minnow in the stream of things. Alright, so I had a question, or someone asked me about wood seasoning and wood selection and stuff like that. If I say in regards to wood selection, of late I've been using a lot of sycamore, I've been using a lot of ash, primarily because the woodland that I've been going to has had those type of woods in there, so I've taken advantage of those. But you know, you can use pretty much most woods. Just be careful. I mean, obviously get yourself a guidebook or use your Google food skills and go and check out the woods that are poisonous. Now, the only wood that kind of springs to mind immediately is kind of yew. Rhododendron's another one, but then I read some time ago that rhododendron, when it's actually seasoned, the people of Suffolk used to call it spoonwood. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. Maybe you need to get hold of Jonah Hex, go to a graveyard, an old graveyard in Suffolk, maybe dig up a grave and get him to sort of resuscitate a dead body, just to ask him about whether or not rhododendron in Suffolk was referred to as spoonwood. But yeah, so I mean, you know, I mean, a lot of the woods, what we tend to use and what we tend to stick to is like birch, ash, hazel, sycamore, and the like, you know. So it's really totally up to you what wood you use. Obviously some woods are going to carve a little bit better than others. Some woods will obviously split a little bit quicker than others if you're going to be carving with woods that are still green. Now, for argument's sake, just this morning I've been out collecting a load of wood, and at the moment there's a load of where they've been dredging out some of the ditches down by me. There's a load of blackthorn that's been cut down, and you know, it's just that log itself is a very nice, heavy, dense piece of wood. And if I was going to carve with something like this, ideally really I want to be carving it when it's green, but it doesn't really matter because it's as hard as a rock anyway. But what I will say is that when you do start carving sort of projects where the wood is green, it's not a bad idea to either like I do it with catapults. When I'm making a catapult, say the catapult's green and I want to carve it straight away, what I'll do is I'll melt some wax, put some melt some wax on the ends of the prongs, and also on the base of the handle there, and all that does, it just stops the moisture from kind of either getting out of the wood and slowing down the process, I believe, of it sort of splitting the wood. Because, like, for example, blackthorn, when it starts drying out, it's the same as cherry and a lot of the other woods as well, but I think more so with some of the hardwoods, they seem to, when they start drying out, and if they're just a little bit quick, then they do split out. But you know, that's just horses for courses. You just sort of you know, play around with that and work that one out yourself. I've got a piece of seasoned ash here. And now, what I don't like people that try and syllabalise spoon carving and tell you that you need to have one with a natural curve in it to get the bowl and everything else. And because I mean, if I was just to pick up one spoon here, I mean, that's just a flat spoon. you know, it was just a flat spoon. There was no curve in that, and literally I've carved that little bit of an apex into the handle and put that little bit of a shape in there. You know, it's not nothing too special. So you haven't got to sort of, don't get too caught up in the syllabus of things with certain people telling you, no, it needs to be this, it needs to be, no, it doesn't. You know, you use whatever, you know, as the keen eye of a woodsman or a beginner woodcrafter or whatever. You know, you're the one that will look at that project, that piece of wood, and then can obviously work out what you want to get from it. All right. Now, if I show, I mean, I've got about the camera. Let's put the camera down. Look, let's just quickly show you. Look, I've got spoons and God knows what else on the table there. I tend to make, when I'm making spoons now, I tend to just make them and put them in my box. I've had a few comments on Instagram from people telling me, oh, have you got an Etsy store, sell them on Etsy and all that. It's like, nah, can't be bothered. I did try an Etsy store, but I just didn't get anyone off it. But yeah, I mean, like, if I just take these 3 spoons, for example, I think that one I showed you in one of the other videos, and if you look at the pattern on there, that's obviously where the wood is just starting to, just before it starts to rot. It's normally called spalted, and it's really nice. If you can catch it before it starts to rot, I mean, obviously you get some lovely, you know, lovely grains and lovely patterns in that wood. I've got a piece of wood in there. Yeah, I think that's spalted ash, and again I'm going to use that at some point to make you know, to carve some sort of spoon with. All right. So as I say, if you, I'm sort of flitting between things, folks. I do apologise. I haven't obviously wrote anything down. I'm literally just going through my head. But if you are carving a spoon, it's again, I mentioned earlier about maybe sealing the ends or rubbing a bit of wax on it. Another way of doing it is if you're using it green, okay, and when you start carving, is to collect some of the bark up and all the rest of it. Put it inside a plastic resealable bag. Put your project in the bag, and then just leave it slightly open, and then what it is, you've still got moisture in that bag from the fresh green wood, okay, and it just slows that process down of the wood splitting, because that's the last thing you want to do. Don't start, you know, carving a bit of green wood in your shed or out in the woods and everything else. Bring it home, you know, leave it indoors, and if, you know, especially this time of year, because it's getting, you know, because it's obviously winter, the colder months, people have their heating on and God knows what else, and all it will do is speed up the process, and it will split, you know, split your projects out and damage them, and you'll have to end up just throwing away, or, you know, all the rest of it. But I suppose that's part of the learning curve. Another one to do is to rub oil all over it. I mean, I've got one in here. If I use this as an example, this isn't a shrink pot. This is just a pot that I've made out of a bit of hazel. I won't go into the story about it, but literally all I did was, someone told me that it wasn't going to work, it's going to split and all the rest of it, so all I did was rub olive oil onto it, and this was about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've still got the pot now. So you know, and that's just a pot that I've made there out of a bit of hazel, put a lid on, a little bit of leather thong in. Okay, so yeah, I mean, but of late I've been using, excuse me, I'm just going to have a sip of me tea. As of late though, I've been using a lot of sycamore, as I say, and ash and stuff like that, simply because it's been in some of the woods that I've been going to of late. So I just, you know, just make use of what I've got, really. I like actually using sycamore. I think it's quite a nice, I've been using that quite a bit of late, and I quite like that one. Some other sort of carving projects, I mean, well, with your spoons and stuff like that, I mean, you know, there's a million and one sort of ways to carve, you know, to how to shape a spoon and what it's to look like and everything else. At the end of the day, folks, it's down to you. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, what I like doing as well is just mixing it up a little bit. It's sort of doing a little bit of coal roasting on them and stuff like that, just to mix it up. Put a nice little pattern on there. Oh, the spoon's just falling out. I've got another, like a bowl here. I think I've made this out of ash, and literally all I've done is just got a little pyrographer and just put a few lines all the way around it, and again it's just a little bowl that goes in the plastic box. Made myself, got a little cookser there, Alright, small one that I've made. I've got a little bowl. This one I tend to use when I'm doing bannock bread, and if I'm doing it in sort of a group of people, normally I'll pour maple syrup into it, and then people can dip their bannock bread into the maple syrup. And I never use them. Apart from that one, I don't use the cook, so I should sort of, maybe start using it a bit more. So I've got a couple of cooks in there. This one was made out of a birch bowl, and this was very hard. This was very hard. Okay, as you can imagine, it's the infected part of the tree. Okay, and it is, it's very, very hard. So just be careful. If you are going to be carving with stuff like this, carving on stuff like that, then just be careful. You'll find yourself a lot of the time you'll be stropping your tools quite a bit. All right. Here's another one I made. Nothing special. Pretty sort of, it's just mucking around with it. Yeah, another little bowl there. As I say, here I've got this is just my little chestnut container. As you see, I just put some spoons in there. Also, you might want to have a go at making little butter knives. That's a nice one to do as well. Okay. Chopping board. Same again. Nice little project to have a go at. And then obviously catapults. So yeah, spatula. There's another little spatula there. I've just shaped it the way I wanted it for my particular frying pan. And that's it, folks. Really, I don't know what else to sort of tell you. My fractured knowledge with carving. As I say, I mean, there's a million and one videos out there. There's carving experts out there, a hell of a lot better than I'll ever be. But just get out there and have a go. As long as you know how to handle your knife, you've got a first aid kit on your person. You're not carving in the dark. You're not carving while you're drunk. Then what's wrong? Just get out there and play around with it. Just as I say, you've got a couple of videos there that you've seen previously. If you want to use mine as some sort of template, then please do so. If not, then no worries. Just go off and do your own thing. Alright, so just have fun with it. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Have fun and stay safe. Alright, so thanks for watching. Now I just want to say quickly as well about my affiliate program that I've sort of set up with Amazon. I think on the previous video I've put a link there at the bottom for if you're maybe new to carving, or maybe you're an existing carver and you just want to buy some new tools and you might want to purchase them from Amazon. Then do a guy a favour and go down and purchase them off Amazon, because obviously setting up an affiliate program, it sort of just gives me a few pence in the pocket, as it were. I don't believe on doing Patreon. Why would you pay me? Why would you pay me to do something? I don't get me around that one, but that's just me. Alright, so you'll be helping me out with that one as well as yourself. Okay, so that's it, folks. So thanks for watching. I hope those few carving videos are okay. Please leave some comments in the suggestions box, in the comments in the box. Let me know some suggestions or anything else you want me to sort of see Des Cattys' angle of stuff. Then please feel free to let us know. Alright, I hope those videos are okay. And that's it. So thanks for watching. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care. And it'll be good to see all your projects and all that when if you're new to carving or existing to carving, show some new stuff. Alright, so see you later, folks. Take care.